My name is Katie. I'm the creator of Fantastical Beauty, a style system based on fantasy. And this is my August review. The quick update is that you should check out the free book on the website because I updated it with animal familiar shape, line drawings for face and body. Did I buy anything? Did I declutter anything? I didn't buy anything in August. There's 3 days left in August officially, so I might go wild. You never know. I never know. But yeah, August, there's a huge list of things that I like, but none of them are on my short list of things I really need to buy. And it's like they're not needs, they're just wants. And all of the wants were sort of like same. Like I want them all, but I wasn't really gripped by any one of them more than the others, so I just didn't buy anything, which is just as well because I could definitely use that budget carrying over, because one of the things that I do feel like I more need and want is to buy a new heavyweight winter coat that is a beautiful color and ideally a nice fabric as well, but I haven't even been able to find a beautiful color, so this is an ongoing search, I suppose. I've been looking for a nice color coat for probably 2 years now that ticks my boxes just right, and they're not making them. I'm gonna check out J. Crew when they start releasing their coats, because I think that might be my best bet for, like, it feels kind of basic to me, like a pretty basic sort of tailored cut with a nice color and a high wool content. I'm also open to a puff coat, something really warm and a beautiful color, like a springy color, and not red preferably, but more of my current pastel dreamland colors would be really good to find. So I could use the August budget carrying over for that. But I'll get into my, I guess now, fall shopping plan. So that's high on the list for me. Winter coat in a great color. That's number one. I'd also like to get a casual, very casual, pull on to go to the park kind of water resistant boots. And this is another thing I've been looking for probably 3 years. Because I want like a light brown taupe sort of color, not like a reddish brown. I'm particular about the shade of brown, and there aren't a lot of the light end of taupey browns available in a super casual boot. And I want the toes to have enough room for my toe shape. That's a necessary thing. I found a couple that looked close but weren't roomy enough to be comfortable, so it wouldn't be a good day walking boot for me for the casual days. And then there are 2 Sam Edelman boots that I already know I like because the page style I have in snakeskin, and they were out of stock in the taupey color last year when I bought the snakeskin. So I'd like to get the snakeskin or the taupey color this year, and they're doing a knee boot in the same, it's called, I forget, I want to say Taylor. Page. And they have a really nice square toe, and they fit my feet very well. And they have a low block heel that's just enough that it looks really nice. But that means it's not flat, super casual. It doesn't fit the boot that I need most days, but I have both of those on my wish list, because it's like a slightly dressier boot for around here. So boots, I want a long sleeve layering top. I have this really cute wool sleeveless sweater vest that has a flower on it that I've only worn once. I thought that it would be pretty much year round despite being wool because it was sleeveless. I thought I could just wear it without anything else on, like that would be the only top on, and that I would like that, and that would be good for actually some pretty hot weather, not all the way hot, but pretty good, right? Extend the range. But I don't actually like the way it looks on me without a long sleeve underneath. So I need to find a light pink layering top. And then it'll only be a fall and winter top for me, but I still want to be able to wear it. I still think it's really cute. And then I have my Gallagorn dress, which I want to wear for Halloween. And so I want some accessories for that. I want a belt. I want some skirt hikes so that I can take it on wet streets, trick-or-treating with my kids. And I want a Tudor medieval type silk pouch that's really beautiful to attach to the belt and hold my phone and chapstick and stuff. So those are actually, that's my fall and winter shopping plan. Those are the priority items. But like I said, there's a lot of things right now that I want, that I'm hoping to find, that might get bumped up were I to find them. I did spend like 2 days, all of the little tiny bits of free time that I could be on my phone, looking for a lilac blazer, eBay, Poshmark, Nordstrom, all of the new clothing websites, like reaching deep for me, and then also all of the secondhand websites. And there's like, this is just not a thing that is made. And my daughter says I should sew my own, and then I looked at blazer patterns, even though I don't have time for that right now. I'm still tempted, and I looked at wool for sale and to see if there was wool suiting in the lilac shade that I want and the blazer pattern that I want with 3 buttons. And I might buy a placeholder for under $100, or I might just not on that item until I find the right thing. Or make the right thing, because I'm not sure the right thing is out there. Why don't I tell you really briefly the wish list? I found another ear cuff that I want. It crosses over and it has rhinestones or something studded throughout. I want that. I want some lightning bolt studs to go in my second holes as well. Those Sam Edelman boots I told you about. There's this Staud leaf-shaped bag that I'm very tempted by. I don't need it, I just want it. It's cute. Let's see. I did find an aqua blazer that I'm tempted by. It's not wool suiting, it's cotton, but it looks like it'd be a really nice shade. So I would kind of like that. There's some flats that I want. I still want shoes that are kind of interesting, kind of different in each of the colors that I'm wearing day to day, because I feel like shoes can really dress up or make interesting and otherwise very simple, very boring outfit, which is where my life is at right now. So I found a pair of shoes that I think might go with light yellow, even though it's called vanilla, the colorway. I want yarn to make blankets, which is on my clothing item wish list, because that money all adds up and I feel like I have to pick and choose my hobbies. And in a way, this wardrobe extension is a hobby. Knitting is also a hobby. Yeah. And then just like, a longer raincoat. I have a great short one, but what I like for my coat lengths around here is long enough that you can sit down in it and not get wet, because all of the benches, all of the surfaces in the Pacific Northwest are wet. I don't want to get wet. I want that coat to protect me. But I don't like it longer than my knees, because then it starts to get in the way when I'm walking. So there's this in between mid-thigh to top of knee length that is perfect. And I'd like to find a raincoat in that length in a nice color, which is easier for raincoats than winter coats for some reason, heavy coats. And then the red jean thing, I'm still keeping my eye out for some wide leg cherry red jeans. But that's like a lot of stuff. So got my priority list, I've got my more expansive wish list, and I still don't know what, if anything, I'll end up buying in September. I'm kind of thinking the pouch first, because I've been looking at a specific pouch for my costume the longest, but it's also like not a necessary item, so I don't know. Sometimes I get not in the mood to not spend money. It's like things are appealing, but not in a way where I feel like I really want it. It's not in a motivating to buy way, just like, yeah, those things would be beautiful to have. I think it's partially because I'm really happy with where my wardrobe is at right now. And one of the ways I know that I'm happy with it, that I find a little bit amusing, and I wonder if anyone else out there does this too, I take pictures. I sometimes take pictures of my like worn clothing pile or my floor or like messy chair piles of stuff that I've stacked where like, oh, maybe I'll wear that tomorrow, but maybe I'll wear this other thing. The colors go together so beautifully that I'll take a picture and be like, oh, I should use this for painting as a reference photo for the colors that I want to see side by side. Like, it makes me happy just to see my clothes. And then I wear them all. So I just think it's a good place to be in. It's a good place to be in with your wardrobe. All right, back to my list. What's next? Things I wore for August. As I just said, I wear my clothes. And I wasn't sick this month, so I mostly wore going out of the house clothes. I had a lot of going out of the house to do in August. It's a very, very busy month for me, and I'm tired and looking forward to being home. Let's see. There was 2 days where I wore the same thing. I woke up and we were in a rush, and I just grabbed the same jeans and tee off the floor, and they were in okay shape. And I just got on with my day, and I never ended up changing because it was fine. But that kind of stands out to me. And then I got on a run of rainbow jeans, but that's been happening most months. I'll decide that, like, yeah, I'm wearing these rainbow jeans for a few days in a row. I really like them. And just changing out the top. And that's pretty much it. I'm not sure what I'm going to wear tomorrow. Tomorrow is my birthday. So I am wanting to wear one of my occasion dresses probably. But I will edit in the full month of style book with what I decided on. And I will be doing a video next month on some of my advice to my younger self now that I have reached 40, which is a really beautiful age to reach. I'm really happy with 40 and what I see looking ahead. My mom got me a birthday card that is spot on for how it feels to be 40. It's good times. What I made in August, starting with Fantastical Beauty. I was productive in August. I started on the video notes because it takes a lot of time for me to get prepared for an informative video. I started on notes for typing those 3 recent celebrities more thoroughly for their fantasy type, but also animal familiar and suggestions for subtypes. And while I was doing that, I thought it would be really helpful to have the animal familiar shapes, the different faces, different face shapes, to have line illustrations to compare the celebrity face to, so that you hopefully can see a little more clearly when I say line influenced face, what that means, if I said oval influenced face, or if you can see the combination of 2, like circle plus rectangle, here are the different features. Having these line illustrations of each of the shapes it just seemed like it'd be helpful. And so some of them I got from animal familiar guides that I already had done. Like this circle rabbit is circles on circles on circles, so that line illustration in that style guide is already good to use as the circle example. I edited that one a little bit. I read you a little bit. And then like some of the other ones I tweaked. And some I completely redrew for really clear illustrative purposes and to make sure that they all looked very cohesive, the same line width of the illustration and that kind of thing. And I think it turned out good. I think it turned out useful. So I put it in the free book PDF on the website. Check it out. It'll also be in the next video. And then I decided to do, I think I did the bodies as well. I'm like pretty sure. It was a lot of line drawing for one day. Oh yeah, I did them in evening gowns, which I think still gets the shapes across, but like, yeah, I think looks better. And seeing them all at approximately what would be the same height, which, can that happen? Yeah, that can happen. Not as a pure type for all the types, for all the shapes, but seeing them lined up, I think that even in a very simple line illustration, some of the differences that the points are communicated without little visual help. Pleased with that. The other thing I did, which I did before that project, I use my own subtype guides all the time for client work and for other projects and for my own curiosity. And I was getting frustrated when I was going to a type and I just wanted to see the pants recommendations that I had done, the specifics for pants, for example. And some of the subtype guides didn't have bolded headers for each of the clothing suggestions. And so I'd have to, it just was slowing me down and it was making me frustrated. And I thought, wow, I wish that they all had the bolded sections so that I could quickly see, oh, here's what the handbags are for this type without having to read or scan multiple paragraphs. And it turned out that of the over 60 subtype guides, roughly 20 didn't have these headers. So I edited roughly 20 subtype guides to include the section headers. And those are all updated on the website and they look really good now and I won't get frustrated by that anymore. And while I was doing that, a couple of the really old guides didn't even have certain like sections, like handbags were never mentioned kind of a thing. So when I went to add handbags as a title, I also filled in that information. I didn't have to add a lot of information to very many types, but it's a lot more cohesive now that way and it looks a lot better. And while I was doing that, I noticed that 2 of the subtype guides, Imp and Succubus, I had experimented with a different illustration style and then had decided that I would not continue with it. I try things out, it doesn't always stick. But in the collection of all my style guides, they really stood out as being kind of odd. So I redrew those illustrations in the style of the rest, in the style of all the other guides. And that took a while to update, but they're updated and they're good now. I haven't started on it, but while I was updating those and making them nicer, and going through the animal familiar guides looking for the shape line illustrations, I would like to redo the clothing illustrations for some of those style guides as well. Some of them are pretty old and I don't even remember, like I might have done them in watercolor and then photographed them and scanned them in instead of on iPad in Procreate. And I want them to be cohesive as well. And like some of the proportions look pretty wacky. It's kind of trickier with the animal familiar guides because I knew that I wanted to not just use my template that I had made for all fashion illustrations. I wanted them to reflect the some possible actual proportions for that animal familiar style type, or at least hinted it, you know, if it's a rounded type, I wanted there to be rounded shapes in the body, that kind of thing. But it doesn't, to me, it doesn't look as nice and as clean as the other guides. So they might be getting a refresh sometime this winter, probably. The next time I have a week of nothing else going on. Maybe when I'm sick, I'm not sure. What else did I do? I worked on the 10 AYR prototype. I made some progress with it. It is tricky. I chose a tricky type. I thought that choosing Sea Witch as the first type for the 10 AYR would be the most motivating to me, because that's the type that I'm personally most interested in right now for my own life. But in practice, she was probably one of the hardest types I could have chosen. So it's taking a long time, but in a way, I think it's good, because if I can do Sea Witch in 10 AYR and get the format to work for her, I think every other type will also come easily. That doing this hard one first will make everything else seem easy in comparison, even other subtypes that will be difficult in the same ways. So that is being one of the more dressy subtypes, like in the range of casual to dressy. Sea Witch is dressier. And that's tricky when you're looking at only 10 outfits for year-round to do absolutely everything in your life. And then she's also a monochrome type, so being limited to 10 head-to-toe outfits rather than mix and match, which it's fine, it's cool, it's the way I do things for myself. But when you're doing the 10 AYR as a format, and if you look at the 10 AYR guide, this is the general guide for how to do that on the website, you're choosing fewer shoes and fewer bags and fewer accessories and fewer coats, where for Sea Witch, the ideal would be you would have absolutely all of those things in the same shade of red, and then the same shade of blue. So head to toe, you're having the entire thing with accessories and shoes and everything else in just one color, and having 10 of that. But the goal, one of the goals of 10, so like that's fine, you can do it that way. I think that's a great thing, in that it's still quite a lot smaller than the average wardrobe, even if you approach it that way, to do 10 with all the accessories head to toe in one color. But for the format of the guide, I wanted to show what it would look like with fewer shoes, fewer bags, and if you weren't doing everything head to toe. And I got kind of stuck. And then I got through it, and that's just how the whole process has been going. It's very much 2 steps forward, 1 step back. But I've made progress. I have the 4 casual outfits illustrated. I have 1 of the 3 accessory pages illustrated. I have lots of notes typed up. And maybe one day there will be a 10 AYR Sea Witch guide. I think that the next one that I will try will be the other end of extremes. I think Fallen Angel is a good contender for that. So she's mix and match, and she's very casual, and she's very neutral. And she's also popular. She's one of the more frequently purchased style guides. Is that surprising or not? If you have any other suggestions for subtypes that you'd like to see sooner than later that would be more on the casual end of things, since I'm doing Sea Witch first and she's not, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Otherwise, I will just keep at it and try to complete Sea Witch as I have time, get the format working, and then I will do Fallen Angel next. Other things I've made, physical things. I worked on the shawl a little bit, my beaded shawl. I got to the halfway point and realized that while it was the halfway point of the pattern, it's about a third of the length that I'm going to want it. So I am adding a large middle panel. This is even accounting for the growth that will happen when I block it. I want it to be very long, and it's going to take a very long time, so I've lost motivation to work on it. I also had some personal stuff going on that was stressing me out, and each time I would try to knit and I felt like I was doing a good job, I was doing a terrible job, and I'd look back and the beads were all in the wrong places, and the count of the whole thing was off, even though I was counting the whole time. I was just too emotionally distracted to knit. So I haven't made very much progress on that, but I'm still continuing. During my allergy shot appointments, I do like 2 rows. It's good. I'm never gonna finish this. It's gonna be a while. I did some painting. I painted sunflowers. I tried to free up my approach by painting messy sunflowers. Those were fun. My friends and I got together and we did Matisse's open window, but in our own versions. We each put something different inside the window and chose whatever colors we wanted to paint with. We also did our, for each of us, it was the first time we'd ever done a self-portrait, painted a self-portrait. And we were a few drinks in at that point. And it was very entertaining. None of them were, well, they were a little bad. They were fun though. I reworked my papaya vase picture painting because I liked it, but I didn't love it, and I thought of some things that I thought would make it better for me, and it did. And then I liked it more, but I knew that if I had started over, there were a bunch of things I would have done quite differently. So I painted a second papaya vase painting, which I love. I've worked on it a bit more. My friends are split on which one they like better, but this is definitely more in the direction that I want to go. I like Matisse in the Fauvist phase. That's the direction I want to go in with my painting style for now. I also painted my son getting socks from his dresser drawer. This happened and I was trying to take a picture of him and I didn't get a picture until he was already headed back toward me. But he had been at the dresser with one sock on and one sock off, tossing socks over his shoulder, and it was adorable, and I wanted to have that as a picture, so I gave it a shot painting it, and here's how it turned out. With 3 days left, I have a lot of inspiration photos that I'm hoping to paint. I'm feeling inspired to do some more painting right now, and it's the end of August, so I could add it to this video, or I might just add it to September. We'll see what I manage to actually get finished. For learning and consuming, I didn't watch any TV or movies. I read a bunch more Discworld. Feet of Clay has been maybe my favorite Discworld book so far. And I'm just keeping on with that right before bed. It really helps me fall asleep. And if I wake up in the middle of the night and have trouble getting back to sleep, it feels like I can read for just 5 minutes and it puts me right to sleep. It's just so silly. I highly recommend that still. I think that's it for August. How did your August go? What did you do? What did you make? What did you see? What did you learn? Thanks for watching. I'll see you again next time.